Hello, I am excited today because I have my first story time. I recently saw a post about the extension on the freeze for the student loans, and it made me think about my own student loan journey. I know money, finances are touchy subjects for people, but I honestly think that we should be talking more about finances or sharing more information about finances. I think finances should be taught more in high school and college, but I think it's excluded on purpose. But that's another subject for another day. I definitely wanted to do a video to talk about how I got my finances on track, and I just thought I'd share that information with you. I don't want to make any assumptions, but I personally believe that unless you come from a family of money or a family that has money, you kind of learn the hard way on how to handle your personal finances. So let me know if you think otherwise in the comments or have a different thought on that. But I remember being excited about going to college right after high school. I was the first person to do so in my family, but I didn't have a scholarship. I didn't have, my parents didn't have money to send me to school, so I took loans. I remember feeling overwhelmed with all the paperwork. I really didn't know what I was signing. I felt like I was signing away my life. But at that point, that's the only option I had to attend college. So I did take out some student loans. So I thought to myself, as I was doing all the paperwork, that one day I'll have a really good job and I'll be able to pay all of it back. So it didn't really matter right now. So I took the student loans. I also took extra money to live off of Pell Grants, etc. So that's another topic as well. But I did all of that not knowing that that was really the start of my debt journey. So that's the loan side of things. I also remember signing up for my first credit card when a company, I won't say the name, came on our college campus, and they were, I believe, giving away t-shirts and pizza at the time. So that's all it took for me and other college students to go over to the table to be enticed to sign up for a credit card. I cringe now on how much money I have paid out in interest on my student loans, as well as that credit card over a number of years. I wish I could say I started learning how to control or manage my personal finances soon after college, but that is not true. It was a journey, and it took a number of years to really get out of debt, but I'm jumping ahead of myself. So I do recall going to a live seminar at the time in Portland, Oregon, when Dave Ramsey came to town. I don't even know what made me interested in going, but I know at that point I was living in Oregon, so it had to have been around 2010 to 2011, where I was like, okay, these student loans are killing me, and I had other debt at the time, so I'm like, well, let me go and hear what this guy that I've been hearing about, who has this system for getting out of debt. At some point in the seminar, I distinctly recall Dave Ramsey saying, "You do not have to die with your student loans." And I felt like, oh my goodness, who told him that's what I was thinking? I certainly was thinking that, honestly. And that's when the light bulb went off. And I'm like, okay, who is this man and what system does he have that will assure me that I won't die with my student loan? So, needless to say, I was listening intently and trying to figure out this process on how I can eliminate my student loan debt as well as my other debt. So he had an overview of the baby step process, and I won't go into it now unless you're interested in hearing more about that. But that was actually the process that got me out of debt. It's not a fast track, but I do recall distinctly saying, okay, I'm just going to give this a try. It can't hurt me more than this debt is hanging on right now. So I'm going to at least give it a try. And I started with the smallest debt and then snowball my way up through the other debt. And if that was 2011, I believe I paid my student loan off within 4 or 5 years. So I can't tell you how that felt to finally be free of that student loan. Again, I don't know where that thought came from that I would die with a student loan, but to go from that to not having that student loan anymore, I mean, I can't even explain the feeling. I still remember paying that last payment, and I'm like, I did it. And I'm going to butcher this scripture, but he quoted, "We shouldn't be slaves to the lender," and I certainly get that scripture now. I know some people feel a certain way about Dave Ramsey, but I honestly can sit here and tell you today that I would not have paid off my student loan or other debts had I not heard of this program or not attended that seminar. And that makes me sad to even think about that. So that's why I've been on a mission to talk to my family, friends, or anyone that's willing to hear or open to hear about it, because it totally changed my life. And again, to be debt free, except for my house or my mortgage, there's no better feeling. So I don't blame this generation of young adults to choosing a different path. I know some are deciding not to go to college. I know there's still a lot of people that are going to college, but maybe there is a different way. And I know after going to college and working for the company that I used to work for, I did end up going back to get my master's in human resources, but I was smarter that time at that time because at that time they had well, they still do have tuition reimbursement, and I was able to pay or use that tuition reimbursement to be totally debt free, because after that, becoming debt, well, no, at the time I wasn't debt free, but I know I didn't want to add to my student loan accumulation. His baby steps definitely work, and if you work it and get on a budget, there's so many things that goes into it. So I hope you're not thinking, oh, it's just a small baby steps and snowballing. No, there's so much more. You got to be disciplined with your monies, and you got to have a budget, etc. So I know we all have a money story, if you will, but if you're interested in hearing more or more on this topic or something else related to finances or money management, not saying I'm the expert, but I've lived through it and have seen the other side of it. And honestly, that system has helped me or set me up to be able to leave that job, start my own company, have my savings, thank God. It is helping me right now. So that's why I will never forget or regret doing that process. And so, yeah, that's all I wanted to share. So if you're interested or you want to share your own money story, I know it's kind of taboo, but if you're interested in anything else or have any questions, please let me know. But personal finances and budgeting are definitely close to my heart. And again, I'm always willing to share my journey or help others who may need the extra little encouragement like I received from Dave Ramsey several years ago. So that's all I have for you. Thank you for watching, and see you on the other side of HR.